Squidward. Welcome to the night shift.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the night shift. My name is Loro Antonio, and with me today is someone that's filling in for Isaiah Leung today, and that is Shardul Gupta. So, Shardul, how are you doing, my friend? You were on mute, man. Go ahead.
It's great filling in for Isaiah.
Yeah, so it's good to have you on here, and let's before we get started here, be sure to like and subscribe to our Facebook page, YouTube, and Instagram pages, and also check out our blogs on the MI6 Sports Network, and also follow the MI6 Sports Network on your favorite social media platforms. First off, let's start off with baseball. So the Dodgers take down the Giants in a thrilling winner-take-all Game 5 to advance to the NLCS by the final of 2-1. So, Shardul, I know you have a lot to say on this. What are your takeaways on the Giants' 2-1 loss to the Dodgers?
I would just want to say to you, it's just a really heartbreaking loss for the Giants. I mean, they're one of the greatest franchises in the world. I mean, it was really sad to see that boil down, to see them lose it in Game 5 of the National League Division Series.
It is. And I mean, for the Dodgers, I mean, you talk about Max Scherzer getting his first career save. The pitching for the Dodgers was fantastic. The Giants' pitching was good, but the only run of the game was obviously the home run by Darren Ruff.
So, what were some things that you found out that were wildly entertaining in the Game 5 NLDS matchup?
What I found it interesting was, I feel like that the Dodgers, they came out to play, and especially the Giants. I mean, they had moments. They split the two games in Los Angeles and San Francisco for the first 4 games of the series, but the Dodgers ended up being the better team. But also, speaking of MVPs, who is the MVP of the Dodgers in the NLDS win over the Giants? For me, I'm gonna give it to the entire Dodgers pitching staff for doing its job, and also I'm gonna give it to Cody Bellinger too. What about you?
If I would choose the NLCS MVP, I would still give it to Justin Turner.
Are you talking about NLDS for the Dodgers, not NLCS?
No, NLDS MVP will be Justin Turner.
Yeah, I mean, Justin Turner did what he had to do, but I felt like Cody Bellinger was clutch here. So the Dodgers, however, so we have a rematch set as the Dodgers will take on the Braves in the NLCS. And then we have the Red Sox playing the Houston Astros in the ALCS as well. So let's start in the American League Championship Series preview, as the Red Sox and the Astros will go head-to-head. And obviously nobody wants the Astros to go to the World Series because of that sign-stealing scandal that they were involved in. And for the Red Sox, I mean, this team is clicking at the right time. So I'm going to predict that the Dodgers win it I'm going to predict that the Red Sox will win it in 7. What is your NLCS prediction and why?
I think it's going to be the Red Sox in 6.
And my prediction for NLCS MVP is I'm going to pick Rafael Devers. What about you?
I really like Kike Hernandez.
That's not a bad choice at all here. Now on to the NLCS. So the Dodgers and Braves meet for the second year in a row, and it's going to be a fun series. Last year, the Dodgers won in 7, and this year, the Dodgers and Braves get to meet again. So what is your thoughts on this particular matchup? And I'm going to say the Dodgers win it in 5, just because I think that the Dodgers have home field advantage games 3 and 4 and 5. And I think that the Dodgers really have the momentum in this series.
In my opinion, I think they're gonna get swept by the Braves in 3.
And did you mean in 4?
In 4.
And why do you say that?
Cause the Atlanta Braves have really good players. Their pitchers are good. Will Smith is really great. They have really great pitchers on Atlanta. Freeman's wonderful. He's one of their best hitters. So they have really good hitters on Atlanta. Their rosters really has lots of good players on their team. So I think that'll give them the slight advantage over the Dodgers. And for me, anytime any team that's going against the Dodgers, basically I'm rooting against any team that's against LA. So if the Giants are playing LA, I'm going to root for the Giants. If the Braves are going against the Dodgers, I'm going for the Braves. That's just how my mindset is.
Well, I mean, if you look at it, I think that the Dodgers are the better team. I think that if the Dodgers were to win, my pick for the NLCS MVP, I'm going to pick Max Scherzer. I think the way he closed out Game 5, he's probably going to he's going to pitch a big game in games. He's going to pitch another big game.
What things have you seen in Max Scherzer that make him such a great pitcher?
I mean, the way he throws his fastball, 98 miles per hour, though.
Would you say he's one of the deadliest players on the Dodgers on how fast he throws his when he throws his fastballs?
I think so. I mean, I really think he does. So, anyways, let's go to our comment section. Isaiah Leung says, "What's up, guys? Sorry I couldn't hop on tonight, but thanks for holding the fort down." So, thanks for tuning in, Isaiah. And he also wants to say that the Braves sweep LA. Wow, Adam Barber. I think the Dodgers beat the Braves in 5, though, Isaiah. So, anyways, now let's talk about the Cardinals. So, the St. Louis Cardinals shockingly fired Mike Shildt over philosophical differences. And what is your thoughts on that? And did you think that the Cardinals made the wrong move on firing Mike Shildt?
I think they did the right move because anytime a manager's doing a really horrible job, I think it is the right move for them to fire him. Because I mean, if he's doing really bad, why keep him on? Why still keep him on the team if he's doing poorly? I mean, it is. I think it was the right job for the St. Louis Cardinals to fire him.
It might be, but I didn't think that it should have. The Cardinals should have not fired him just because. I felt like that he did a good job. I mean, he led the Cardinals to a division title. He took them to 2 wild card games, and then they lost. So basically, I think the Cardinals. I think I still think they're going to be a competitive baseball team, but it's going to depend on who their manager is going to be.
So do you think it was kind of harsh to fire a manager? I mean, like. If he wasn't doing a great job, then they kind of have a reason of firing him.
In a way, yes, but we'll have to figure that out. That's for sure. So, anyways, now on to the NBA. So the Lakers lost to the Sacramento Kings in preseason play, and I didn't watch the game, so I thought that the Lakers, they were just tuning up for the regular season. I'm just excited to see what they do, especially getting all the older players on the Lakers to help win the championship. What is your takeaways on the Lakers over the Kings?
I think the Lakers. It was kind of surprising to find the Lakers losing to the Kings because the Kings have the Lakers losing to them because the Kings have so many great players like Kyle Guy, Tyrese Halliburton.
Are you talking about Marvin Bagley?
Yeah. So I think it was kind of surprising when the LA Lakers lost to the Kings in preseason. And really preseason games don't really count. So I mean, I don't really care if they win or not because they don't really count towards the regular season. So it doesn't really matter.
No, it really doesn't. And now before we move on here, we have a comment from Ishmael Lancaster. He also says, what is your guys' thoughts on the Cardinals firing Mike Shildt? I felt like that it was a wrong decision for the Cardinals to do that, but I feel like that it's going to bite them in the butt if the Cardinals making this move. What about you, Shardol?
I think it wasn't the right move. I think it was a little bit too harsh on the Cardinals on firing Mike Schultz, and I don't think it was the right decision. They could have made some alternate. They could have thought. They could have made different decisions on what to do about keeping him or removing him from the team. But I think it was not the right decision.
No, it was not. He is doing such a good job managing the Cardinals here. And also, Isaiah Leung also says, how about my guy, Austin Reeves? Remember that kid, y'all. Kid is special. Great three-point shooter. Guy can shoot the mid-range and also play defense. Next Tyler Hero. Mark my words. I think Isaiah is definitely going bold here. So what do you think, Shardol, this comment right here?
I think Isaiah is going really bold, showing how much of a loyalty he has to the Lakers, and he knows that his Lakers are gonna, he probably wants them to win a World Series. Maybe that's what Isaiah
You
would
mean
like.
a championship, right? You mean like an NBA Finals championship?
Yeah, I meant a championship. Wrong sport. I meant basketball, but I said baseball instead.
Oh, okay, no worries that you slipped there. So, anyways, talk about some bold predictions in this upcoming upcoming NBA season. I'm going to say that the bold prediction is that I think that the Chicago Bulls will make it in the top 6 in the Eastern Conference when it comes to the playoffs. What about you, Shardol?
So what was your question?
Talk about bold predictions for this upcoming season for the NBA.
My bold prediction will be that Klay Thompson's gonna make a return, and he's probably gonna have a stellar game after he makes his return.
That's gonna be amazing to watch. But do you think that your Warriors, on the other hand, could make it back to the playoffs, make it back to like a top seed in the West?
They could. I'm not sure how that would happen, but it would be really amazing if they would make another championship run, and then make it back to the finals and win it.
And then here's another comment from Isaiah Leung. He says the Cavaliers make the playoffs, not playing. I mean, actual playoffs. And he also says the Nets will not make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Isaiah, I respect what you're saying, but I do expect the Nets to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. And the Cavs, I disagree with them making the playoffs. I think that the Cavs are going to make the plan, or maybe, just maybe, not make the playoffs at all. So, you have any thoughts on those comments there, Shardol?
I think those are pretty bold predictions by Isaiah saying that I'm making those comments. And I find that I just probably don't agree with those comments.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really those comments that we should think about here. But now let's go on to the NFL. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the Philadelphia Eagles on Thursday Night Football. We'll pull up the score here on my phone. It was a 28-22 win for Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the Philadelphia Eagles. What were your takeaways in that game?
My takeaways from the game would be that I thought it would be a really high scoring game, but it looks like the Eagles were trying to creep their way back into the game. So I don't think this was really exciting because it looks like the Buccaneers weren't really trying hard enough, and they were trying to let the Eagles make a comeback in the game. So that was kind of disappointing to me to see that, the Buccaneers weren't doing anything and they were letting the Eagles score touchdowns on them. Like, they're like playing against a bunch of kids, in my opinion.
And also a historic night for Tom Brady. He has 400 plus passing yards in 5+ touchdown passes for the first time in his career. Talk about Tom Brady being the GOAT. And he's also on pace for 6,008 passing yards with 51 pass touchdowns.
And I think Tom Brady is having a stellar season. I mean, one of the best seasons he's had so far.
Yeah, he's had a really, really phenomenal season. And I really think that, Tom Brady is just simply the GOAT here. He's the GOAT of football.
So my other question is that do you think Tom Brady will lead the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to another Super Bowl?
I don't see why not. I mean, the Buccaneers are a really good football team right now. So, folks, now let's talk about some other news to talk about. The NFLPA to petition the NFL to release 650,000 emails associated with the Washington football team investigation. Do you believe the NFL should comply and release the emails?
I don't think they should comply and release those emails.
And why is that?
Cause those emails might have some type of negative association with them.
It might be because, obviously we talked about the John Gruden situation and all that. So basically, John Gruden said some racial remarks and gay slurs in those emails during the NFL lockout in 2011. So it's been a whirlwind of a week for the NFL.
And so I don't think they should release those emails because I don't know what kind of association those emails have with them. They might be probably some dark association with those emails.
All right. So now let's talk about some Week 6 games that you are looking forward to this week. So obviously the San Francisco 49ers have a bye week. Isaiah is a Niners fan like yourself. And I want to get your assessment here. What was your thoughts on Trey Lance's first career NFL start?
I think it was amazing to see Trey Lance get his first start because he's such a young kid. I mean, he's such a great player, a fun player to watch. And once he gets hot, he's unstoppable.
And we also want to play you a video when it talks about Trey area. This is Isaiah Leung getting hyped before his first career start. Here's the video that we want to play for you all.
Let's go, baby! Kyle Shanahan just announced Trey Lance is starting Sunday. The Trey Lance era officially begins, baby! Trey area!
He was so excited about Trey Lance starting. So are you done with Jimmy Garoppolo?
I mean, I'm still sticking with I'm still sticking with Jimmy Garoppolo, even if everybody thinks that I'm, why are you still sticking with him? I don't really care because, I'll stick with him and support him no matter what, even if people throw as much shade on him as possible.
All right. So now, with that being said, let's talk about the Patriots and Cowboys. That's the game I'm looking forward to the most. Do you think that the Patriots can upset the Cowboys here?
I'm not sure, but I think the Cowboys might upset them because they have Dak Prescott, all these great players on the Cowboys. So I think I'm gonna go with the Cowboys to win this game over the New England Patriots.
Wouldn't be shocked if the Cowboys beat the Patriots, but we'll just have to wait and see here. I think Mac Jones is definitely getting better and better each week. So also, what Week 6 game are you interested in the most, though?
Could you pull up the Week 6 NFL game schedule? Because I don't have the schedule on myself right now.
Yeah, we got the Bills and Titans on Monday Night Football. What are the Seahawks going to do without Russell Wilson as they take on the Pittsburgh Steelers? And then the Raiders will play the Broncos on Sunday.
So I think the Raiders and Broncos game is going to be interesting. I'm going to be going with the Broncos to win that one.
I'm going with the Raiders. I think that they want to put that John Gruden distraction behind them, and Derek Carr will really carry this team here. But also when it comes to the Seahawks with Russell Wilson being out, this is the first game that the Seahawks will be playing without Russell Wilson for at least 4 games. And Isaiah Leung had something to say about that after the injury.
Bye-bye, sea chicken!
So he calls the Seattle Seahawks the Sea Chickens. Is that your nickname for them?
I think that's a pretty creative name for the Seahawks because it is a bird. So I would believe sea chickens would make sense because the Seahawks are a bird, and they're from the sea.
All right, now we'll talk about that game, the Seahawks and Steelers. So I'm going to pick the Seahawks to win this game. I really think Geno Smith is going to step up when he needs to.
And the Bills and Titans game is another game I'm watching because I want to see how Josh Allen will do
after he tormented the Chiefs here, and getting his much-needed revenge on Patrick Mahomes.
So the games that I'm really looking forward to watching would be the Dolphins and Jaguars. The second game will be the Vikings and the Panthers. The third game will be the Chargers and the Ravens. The fourth game will be the Kansas City Chiefs against the Washington football team. And the sixth game that I'm looking forward to watching in week 6 will be the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears.
Those are really good games to look forward to, but I think that if you talked about those games, I think that the Packers will beat the Bears, and then I think that the Chiefs will beat the Washington football team, and then I think the Dolphins will beat the Jags in London.
So Zach, have the Dolphins ever played the Jaguars in London, or is this the first time they're going to be meeting together and playing in Wembley Stadium in London?
This is the first time that they're going to be playing in London. 2 Florida teams that are going to go head-to-head.
And that game is taking place on what date?
Sunday at 6:30 in the morning.
Oh. So what are your thoughts of the Vikings and the Panthers?
I think that game could be I think the Panthers are going to win this game just because I think that the Panthers are I think this team is definitely heading into the right direction, but for the Vikings, they're hit and miss.
Do you think they should get rid of quarterback Kirk Cousins?
I would say so. I mean, I think they drafted Kellen Mond for a reason. So, folks, now with that being said here, let's talk about some college football. So, last week, Alabama got stunned by Texas A&M. And Isaiah, if you're listening, this is for you. An upset in College Station. What was your takeaways on last week's upsetting win for the Texas A&M against the Alabama Crimson Tide?
I think it was kind of upsetting for Alabama to lose this game because Alabama Crimson Tide is a really great football organization, and it was kind of upsetting when the fans saw that they lost this game to Texas A&M. So I think this was a really upsetting loss for the fans. Yeah,
it was pretty upsetting there when you look at it, but I think that Alabama will bounce back and they will beat Mississippi State. So what is the college football game that you're looking forward to the most here?
So the college football game that I'm looking really forward to watching would be tomorrow's game against tomorrow's game between San Diego State and San Jose State from CEFCU Stadium at 7:30. That's going to be a really great matchup. We're playing We're playing the Aztecs of San Diego State, who are our biggest rivals. So I'm really looking forward to that game. I'm looking forward to getting a San Jose State Spartans victory.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a phenomenal game. That's for sure. So now let's talk about that's now. With that being said, I mean, I know that. Sorry, this is another short show. Wish Isaiah was with us here. So it's time for final. So it's time for final thoughts. So let's hit the cue, everyone. All right, folks, it has been a great show on the night shift. Sorry it was another short one, but Isaiah, when you come back, then we'll make this show a lot longer. So, Chardol, thank you for hopping on this show. What are your final thoughts before we end this?
My final thoughts are I'm just looking forward for a victory for my college tomorrow against San Diego State.
And my final thoughts is I'm looking forward to the NLCS with the Dodgers and the Braves, and I think the Dodgers are going to find a way to get another trip to the World Series. And is that something that you expect?
I don't expect the Dodgers to make it to the World Series, but if they do, congratulations to the Dodger fans. If they make that if that ends up happening, then I want to congratulate the fan base in LA for if they make that run to the championship.
Yeah, absolutely. So that being said, folks, that is actually going to do it for the night shift. Tune in next Thursday as I'll be back on the night shift with Isaiah Leung. He'll be back on Wild Sports Talk on Monday. So anyways, that's going to do it for the night shift. For Chardol, Loro signing off for now. Have a great rest of your night, and we'll talk to you next Thursday on the night shift.
We'll see you guys later.